Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your tropical update for June 26th. We are still watching multiple areas for potential formation in both the Eastern Pacific and the Atlantic. As we see in the Eastern Pacific, we do have an area of interest. We won't talk about it because one, odds are low, two, it's no threat to land. We have an area of interest located in the Gulf of Mexico making its way towards the Texas coast. The odds on that are low at the moment. We'll talk more about that. That'll be our first item of business. Our second item of business, Invest 94L, making its way towards the Windward Islands. From there to the Leeward Antilles, and then potentially on to Nicaragua by the end of the week. So that's 94L, and behind it, more tropical waves that could be of concern later on. We'll talk about those towards the end of the video as well. Here's our area of interest located right now just south of Louisiana. We have a bit of rotation, much of the convection to the north over land at the moment. So no big formation expected with this one. 20% chance of formation within the next 5 days. We're watching the Texas coast for potential impacts, but that's kind of about it with this one. So yeah, let's move on to Invest 94L. Why waste our time when we don't need to? 94L also looking, there's convection, there's rotation. The rotation isn't great. The convection isn't great. The National Hurricane Center recognizes this and thus has kept the odds pretty standard, but increasing, now up to an 80% chance of formation within the next 5 days. Please note that the max wind speeds are now currently 35 miles per hour, and the minimum pressure is down to 1,007. So that is a decent improvement since yesterday's update on this storm. Like I said, it's going to be making its way towards the Windward Islands, the Leeward Antilles north of Venezuela, and then towards Nicaragua here later this week, potentially as a hurricane. As we can see on the model guidance here, or if we take the upper envelope of intensity guidance, we have it as a decently strong tropical storm by the middle of the week. And as we head into next weekend, it approaches hurricane strength, and perhaps a Category 1 hurricane could be affecting Nicaragua next weekend. Of course, a lot can still change this. It could weaken, it could not develop at all, it could also get stronger than this, such as what the ship model suggests, bringing this thing to Category 3 strength by next weekend. The conditions are there for the possibility, but it's probably not going to happen. We will see, and we'll find out together for sure. The general track of this storm looks like just north of Trinidad and Tobago, then going across the Leeward Antilles north of Venezuela, and then towards Nicaragua. Whether or not it goes north, south, or directly into that country, we'll find out. But that's kind of that story. Here's the GFS model, the ensemble model for 5 days from now. This is Friday morning. We have multiple areas that we're looking at. So the first one is, of course, our area of interest in the Gulf of Mexico. A tropical depression may be making landfall in Texas around this time. Only a few models out of the whole ensemble pick up on this, and that's why the odds are low. It's not huge conditions, but it's there. So the Hurricane Center is taking note of that. Our second area we want to talk about is Invest 94L. At this point, likely a tropical storm located northwest of Venezuela now, making its way towards Nicaragua. And behind it, another tropical wave with a very wide array of potential solutions. As you can see, the starting points are all over the place, versus for 94L, they're all at the same place. So the next tropical wave could bring some impacts further to the north than where 94L will, and that continues here 7 days from now. This is next Sunday morning, where we could have potentially a tropical storm over Hispaniola with that second tropical wave, and also a tropical storm or hurricane over Central America due to 94L. And at this point, the system in the Gulf is long gone. But we could have two simultaneous tropical cyclones here, is what this shows. But as you see, the guidance here is very low. There's only 7 models that out of the ensemble that predict that, versus for 94L we have this wide range of models, and of note how spread out those models are. So still a lot can change. Here's the European model, a bit more clustered than the American model, has a bit more favorable guidance for tropical cyclone near the Texas coast this week. But as you can see, tropical storm located northwest of Venezuela due to 94L, another tropical wave developing into a depression or storm behind it a bit further to the north. And by the time you get to next Sunday, it also has 94L, but it's more consolidated. It goes through Nicaragua and Honduras and into Belize and Guatemala. By the time we get to a week from now, then a few more of their ensemble has the potential for a tropical storm located near Hispaniola and Puerto Rico come next Sunday. So a lot of things could happen here. And there's a lot of moving parts. There's three main things we're watching right now. Again, in the Gulf, 94L, which will impact the Windward Islands, which is the south half of this island chain. The Leeward Antilles, which is north of Venezuela, and then probably Central America is what we're looking at 94L. And then the tropical wave behind that could affect areas to the north. Those are called the Leeward Islands, and then potentially Hispaniola and Puerto Rico as well. So lots of areas in play. It's hurricane season, folks. So that's kind of what we have to do, is continue to monitor everything. Conditions are favorable, expected to be a very active season here in the Atlantic Basin. That's all for now. Chris Dixon for their Catholic Media.